Gary Collins with Spotlight on Maryland spoke with a woman who's worried her dream of connecting young people to the outdoors might be too costly to bear.
With a historic $1.6 billion tax and fee increase set to bear down on Maryland taxpayers and businesses, we spoke with a small business owner who says she would leave the state if she wasn't tied down.
My name is Ashley Schweinhart. We're at Tree Trekkers Frederick. We're an aerial adventure in high ropes zipline park.
Schweinhart says she has a consistent stream of customers to her outdoors ropes course, but to make ends meet is oftentimes challenging.
We're working class citizens. I always joke, I was like, if you divide my labor hours divided by my salary, I actually make less than minimum wage.
Schweinhart says Tree Trekkers made its summer season debut weeks before mandatory COVID-19 shutdowns in March 2020. She adds a new tech tax could be budget-breaking for her dream business.
How's the tech tax going to affect your business? Because your business is in technology. How's it going to affect you?
So we still have payroll apps that we use. We have scheduling apps that we use. We have security companies that we use. So we still use tech companies to help us run our business. So we will be paying more tax when we're using those services. And what that means for a lot of small business owners like us that give back to the community is we have less money to do that. You know, we have less money to invest back into our property and back into the community when they raise taxes.
Quite frankly, a lot of our clients, again, are making this calculation as to whether or not they can afford to stay in Maryland.
Tyrone Keys, a financial services and real estate professional, says his team has been flooded with financial impact conversations with clients.
All of these taxes and fees eventually hit the bottom line. Companies are reluctant to pass it on to the consumer, but sometimes you have to do that. So either you stay and your consumer gets higher prices, or you leave and go to where your money's treated best.
Keys says some companies in Maryland are already reconsidering their expansion projects and taking capital investments elsewhere.
IonQ, for example, they just took a $22 million investment to Tennessee. That's the initial investment. Over 30 years, who knows how much more can be wrought from that. And that's going to contribute to restaurants, housing, dry cleaners, all types of ancillary services that are built up around that investment. So we're losing big here in Maryland.
Just days before the tech tax and other revenue increases are set to go into effect in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore traveled to an Aspen, Colorado ski resort to attend at least two events. One was a high-dollar fundraiser on Saturday morning for his campaign, and a panel discussion later that evening at the Aspen Ideas Festival. Meanwhile, back in Maryland.
From your perspective, is it the wrong message being sent that the governor's in Colorado the weekend before this tax takes place?
The governor's in Colorado fundraising for higher political aspirations when we have a fiscal crisis here in this state, especially as we look at implementing not just tech tax, but all kinds of taxes and fees are going to go into effect in July. He needs to be here trying to figure out what we can save.
Out on the ropes course, Schweinhart says she is frustrated with state leadership, including the governor.
Does it worry you about what the future of Maryland's economics may hold and how it may impact your business?
Right. It worries me a lot. When we keep raising taxes, we keep spending more and more and more. And there's eventually going to be a tipping point where people don't have as much disposable income. We're recreation. We rely on disposable income, people having discretional funds to come and do something fun. So not only does a tax affect our business, it affects other small businesses and their bottom dollar. So it's a ripple effect of people not having more money in their pockets.
Our team sent Governor Moore's office several questions asking how his administration plans to bring tax relief to people like Schweinhart. Spokesperson for the governor did not directly answer our questions, but did say the governor worked with leaders in the Maryland General Assembly to turn a budget deficit into a budget surplus. We'll continue to follow the impacts on tax hikes on people just like you. I'm Gary Collins with Spotlight on Maryland.
Well, Governor Moore's office did send a statement to Spotlight on Maryland saying after years of stagnation, it's clear the state had much to accomplish to undo economic underperformance from 2017 until 2022. The statement goes on to say Maryland's economy flatlined while the rest of the country grew. The governor's office says the state's private sector shows signs of growing. I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.